Hi there, Serial Trader here. Let's check in with Weed as of Friday's close. And alright, we've had another day of decline. And as far as fib levels, this is the 618 and the 1.0 multiple if we do our A projection off of this point. But if I move it over here to where B actually ended on that truncated C wave, that brings us down to here, which is more in line with where we're currently sitting. And then the 1.0 multiple, I really doubt we get there, but if we do, it's 2751. Although it would be unprecedented to decline this much more under the current technical conditions, and I'll get to that shortly here. But okay, so what am I looking at? Well, right now we have this kind of support level after we gapped up there at 3141. So we've gone as low as 3181. We also have this former resistance level that could now act as support at 3146, so that's a very similar level to this 3141. So if I just highlight that with a horizontal line, okay, there we go. So there's that level to be watching. And then we actually have the gap being filled itself. And to fill the gap, we'd have to go as low as 3055. Nothing to say we have to fill that gap, but it certainly wouldn't be unusual to do so. I mean, when we were looking over here, we certainly never thought we'd be coming down to fill this gap, but now it's potentially in sight. Although, hey, nothing to say it's actually going to get filled, right? Okay, so now we have some levels to be looking at. We're actually very close to that median line now of this parallel trend channel. It's been drawn down. Let me adjust that C wave label here, because obviously we do not have the bottom there on that reversal attempt. Volume. So this is the highest volume in the past 12 trading sessions. So typically at a bottom or near a bottom, you want to see volume really pick up, because that means a lot of positions are changing hands. You know, the sellers are capitulating and the buyers are starting to, you know, really get interested, and that's why you see such high participation in the form of volume, right? Okay, daily RSI is at 32, and if I just zoom out here, okay, so at this significant bottom, daily RSI, well, went as low as 35, and then at the actual bottom was at 42. Yes. And then over here, at this extreme bottom, RSI was at 36. So we're extremely low on daily RSI, the lowest we've been in a very, very long time, and lower than previous bottoms as well. If I go all the way back here to this brutal sell-off that ended here, RSI at this point was 34. Okay, so that's interesting. So we're higher than all those levels, or sorry, lower than all those levels. So historically, this has been a great point for a reversal and an entry. Also, trend line. So I know I've drawn this on CGC before, but I'll draw it on this one as well. So we connect the wave 2 extreme down here, okay? And we connect that to where wave 4 ended here, the wave E of 4 ended. Let me just connect that. Okay, that's done. Double check. Yeah, and right now we're basically right at or near that trend line, slightly stabbed below it, but trend lines can certainly be poked through, as you've seen over here, but they largely hold if it's a legitimate trend that's going to remain intact, right? Okay, so a whole bunch of confluence areas here that we're now in. Also, we just have a very clean ABC down up down sequence, typical Elliott zigzag correction, and our C wave is shallower in slope than our A wave. Okay, and just to visually show that, so here's the slope and just get rid of the extension there. Here's the slope of the initial decline in A. Drag that over, go off of here, and you can see that is sharper than this. So the slope is shallower in C. That's what you'd want to see in a typical zigzag correction. And okay, let's just briefly go over to the 4-hour chart. And 4-hour RSI is at 22 as of today's close, okay? And zooming out, so at this bottom, 4-hour RSI was at 37. Oh, sorry, 30. And over here, it was at 31. Just before that peak, there's a little divergence, so at the very worst there, it was at 27. So over here, 4-hour RSI was at 24. Looks like the worst was 24 there. Okay, so now we are at 22, so almost unprecedented on 4-hour RSI. So very, very comfortable in expecting a significant bottom to form here really any time at this point. Could be Monday, could be Tuesday. I would be extremely surprised if next week we don't form a major pivot and start a new uptrend. Be very surprised if that happened. Okay, and now on the 1-hour RSI, let me just really go through this in detail. 1-hour RSI, we got as low as, let's see here. If I can find the lowest level, 14. Okay, 14.99, 15. So if I zoom out, look at other bottoms here, significant bottoms. Okay, that wasn't the lasting bottom, but that was that got as low as 21. No, we got as low as 16 on that one. And then this one we only got as low as let's see here, as low as 26. And then how about this one over here? We got as low as, oh, not even that low because we had divergence there. But on this previous one, we got as low as 18. And we had a slight stab down, then a bullish reversal. And on that, we were at 42. So what I'm getting at, unprecedented almost how oversold we are on multiple time frames. And RSI is a very reliable tool. It's probably the most respected oscillator, in my opinion, for this sort of thing. And we'll just go down the 15-minute price chart, adjust some of our short-term labels. So I would say we have something more like this now. We are forming our fifth wave. We actually had this extended third, and this was our fourth wave move down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This fifth looks very mature in its formation. So maybe we'll finish it on Monday with a quick stab down. Oh, another thing, it's interesting. So if I get in closer here. So yesterday I was expecting maybe a flush down to take out this low and then a reversal. And okay, so we had the open. We initially flushed down, took out that low. Then we had a pretty big reversal. Went up as high as 34.15. Started breaking above this range here. And, you know, okay, maybe we finally have our low in. And then only to be given back and drift lower as the day went on. So that's interesting. But there is definitely signs that the bottom is approaching, or very close, really. And we'll just move this blue C down as well, since it's not done there. Okay. Now looking at CGC, also highest volume in the previous 12 trading sessions, or maybe more. Make that the previous 14 trading sessions here on CGC. And really showing the same overall picture as weed. Some levels to be looking at on CGC for closing the gap would be 23.89. I would close the gap here. And right now we're just kind of sitting on the gap. So similar picture to wheat, although slightly different. And as far as how I played this, now even though I put on a significant position, in this area up here, I actually today closed the long VIX call position for a decent gain, and I've recommitted that capital to just buy more weed down here at these extremely low levels. I mean, this is an extremely rare opportunity. Okay, I mean, here we have a very bullish uptrending stock. There's no question this is in a strong uptrend, and it's likely to continue as time goes on. Now we have a nice, corrective three-wave decline, exactly what I like to see for a trading opportunity. We have a confluence of support, various levels, and trend lines, resistance and support levels, etc., all confluencing here. Fibonacci levels. We're almost unprecedentedly oversold on multiple time frames with RSI, and we have the legalization going to kick off in now less than 3 months, and I'm sure there's just going to be all sorts of news releases and media hype as we approach that. So it looks like a fantastic place to be going long here. And just as far as some expectations, so whenever we get our bottom, it should be really soon. It really should be. Let's just say it's here though. I'm not saying it is, but let's just say it is, because this won't change very much. I mean, if we go down a little more, this won't change these projections a whole lot. So let's do a reverse fib, okay? Reverse fib extension of this zigzag down. We'll do our 1.382 and our 2.0 multiple. And let's see what kind of levels that gives us for upward targets. Because a zigzag is a corrective pattern that once complete will be more than fully retraced. More than fully retraced above the high of 48.72, okay? So our 1.382 multiple gets us to 55.22. And our 2.0 multiple gets us to 65.67. So those are two levels, roughly, because we don't actually have a hard low yet, but I'm sure it's very close. Two levels to be looking for once we start heading back up. So just to give you a taste or an idea of what we can really expect once we really get going up here. All right, that's probably good for now. We'll certainly be checking in on this next week. Serial Trader signing off.